And starting a live stream. Hello, Megaleech. I'm just arranging chickens. Because, yes, I'm going to make a video and leave the chickens in charge. Just as a warm-up. See who's going to... Oh, yeah, that's a pleasing arrangement of chickens. Face in. There you go. There you go. Pretty happy with that arrangement of chickens. And hello, Luke and Heine. Oh, Jesus, they all just decided to pitch. I don't know what the chickens are doing. Okay. Wow. A lot of people do. Okay, I'm just going to make a short video. And then settle down. So that involves, what have I dropped there? That's a pig. That there. Alright, let's get this. Hey, Strictly Sega, by the way. Just setting up. Alright. Ugh, now. Yeah. No, it's a lot of unpleasantness and bad feelings after the voice vote, but what are you going to do? An inherently conservative population who doesn't like change? And there's a gross undercurrent of racism in there just to make it really pleasing. Okay. What was I going to do? I was going to do the Constantine. Constantine, who knows? Right. So, I need my maraschino liqueur. And I think I'll put this away in the cupboard. All good in the hood. Okay, so I want that. I want dry gin. Where is my bone dry? Down here. Okay, bone dry gin. And absinthe, just a dash though. Gin. Fucking hell, I do need sweet vermouth. What was I thinking? Alright, got that. I have to disappear for a minute and get my sweet vermouth. I thought I was playing. Hey, Justin. Yeah, not sure what that New Zealand government's going to be like. We'll see, I guess. Oh, I got it a sweet vermouth. Okay. Put that back there. I'm almost ready. This here for now. Okay, and orange bitters. There's my orange bitters. Okay, now you get a stirring glass, because we're going to stir this. Might start chilling my glass that I'm going to serve in. Get this cube. Heavy cup glass, looks kind of classy, I think. How you doing over there, chickens? Doing a good job? Keeping everything under control? I won't be long. Let's try this. Alright, get the shiz ready. What orders? 3/4. Try this. Okay. Let's do. Wait. Sweet vermouth. God, I'm going crazy. Get the vermouth poured. And why not? Man, there's a really strong wine aroma comes off that one. And 2 ounces of the gin. And heckin' strong juniper coming off that gin. Alright, let's get these two ready. Take the lid off the orange bitters. That over there. Alright, and I reckon we're ready to go. Oh, no, I'm not having got the camera set up, but, you know, I would have got there eventually, setting up my camera. The whole making the video thing. Alright. And hello, musical aviator, too. Okay. Let's get this framing happening. This is not really happening. Alright, that was a bit weird. Okay. That's ready to go. Let's go with the gin. Sweet vermouth. Maraschino, just a 1/4 ounce. Absinthe, just a dash. It's probably too much, but fuck it. And orange bitters, 2 dashes. Alrighty, that's all the ingredients. Put some lids on here. Okay. Want now the adding the ice. Okay. Phase 2. Let me double check that framing. That's okay. And I forgot to get my cherry ready. Let's see, here we go. Oh, I got 2 cherries. Looks like it's a 2 cherry sort of night. Okay, that's done. Now the talky bit, and it's only a short, so this will only take me about 2 minutes. Because the talking's got to be less than 60 seconds. Wash your face in the sink. Okay. Turn that on. Turn this on. That looks about right. Oops, treading on the little cord. Okay. Got that ready? Yeah, that ready? G'day cocktail lovers. This recipe dates back about 100 years, and on paper it reminds me a lot of variations you would get of a martini around the late 1800s, early 1900s, but taste-wise, much sweeter than a martini. Could ease people into having a gin martini. Here's how we make it. In a mixing glass, we put 2 ounces or 60 mils of dry gin, then 3/4 of an ounce, around 22.5 mils of sweet vermouth, then just 1/4 ounce or around 7.5 mils of a maraschino liqueur, then just a tiny dash of absinthe, and follow that up with 2 dashes of orange bitters. Add ice to your glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and then strain that into a chilled coupe. And for a garnish, use a maraschino cherry, or 2 if you're feeling lucky. I maybe could have just done a spritz of absinthe in here. Just that little bit adds a really interesting note. If you want to explore... This is pretty good. There's a car. God damn it. I think I maybe could have done just a spritz of absinthe in the glass. Just that little licorice note is a nice element here. A lot of the older cocktail recipes don't hold up. This one's pretty good. Give it a try. The Constantine. Sitting down with my purple drink. Because it really is purple drink. Hooky-doo. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I forgot to take a picture. I might do that now. photograph for promotional purposes. Alright, that'll do. Now, you are retired for the evening. Unless I change my mind. I don't feel like I'm going to change my mind on that. Come around here. Bring my chair around here. And speaking, I've retired for the evening. Oh, I didn't even have the banner up for the chickens. How irresponsible of me. Okay, so that took 15 minutes. That's not too bad. You know what's been going in there? Melbourne's an unauthorised colony in Launceston. Oh, nice. I'm not sure they do, Justin. I'm not an expert in that, but my understanding is the display of Nazi symbols is a crime in Germany. So I think it depends what you mean by Nazi signs on the street. Dr. Jones, feeling lucky. Ah, see? We're having a lucky night. 2 cherries. I just went stab, stab. Got 2 cherries. Smoky Rob Roy. Ah, man. That sounds good. For those who don't know, a Rob Roy is basically a Manhattan with Scotch instead of American whiskey. And of course, I'm assuming a smoky one is a peated Scotch, and that actually sounds pretty good. Well, that would be a lot of memorials, Justin. There were a lot of Jewish people. And honestly, I wasn't looking straight. I know my eyesight's so bad. I thought you initially said they put mermaids outside the houses, which would be weird. Miss Claybetter, talk about Eureka Stockade, but we talk about John Batman trying to trade money for land by meeting the Wurundjeri leaders. Feel like whoever designed Australian history for high schools. Oh, the level of denial in the way history is taught in Australia, and the fact that the Conservatives want to ratchet up the denial, they get super upset at any acknowledgement of, well, some really fucking shit things happened. But yeah. It's like, I think a decent majority of Australians would be floored by the knowledge that the resistance, the armed resistance, the frontier wars continued into the 20th century, as did massacres of unarmed Indigenous people by white people continued into the 20th century. So, strictly say, I think you couldn't have Wolfenstein in Germany because of the Nazi symbology. There you go. So music about the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra premiered Deborah Cheatham's Umarilla, War Requiem for Peace. That sounds interesting. There are an enormous number of people in Australia, non-Indigenous people. I would go so far as to say, based on available evidence, a majority of non-Indigenous Australian people who are extremely uncomfortable with and resistant to open teaching of the actual real history of Australia. Yeah, I think it varies school to school, strictly Sega, and also years. I will straight up tell you in terms, not that I took any history electives, but in terms of, you know, anything about stolen generations, the frontier wars, massacres performed by settlers. Zero, absolutely zero mention of any of these things in my education. Yes, Arthur. Unfortunately, the polls were completely right. Although, mind you, again, this is a slightly weird thing because I was saying in previous streams, like, I don't know, last two elections, the media reporting and polling was wrong or maybe lies. There is actually some degree of comfort I take that the polls were correct, because if they'd been really wrong, I was going to start sounding like a tinfoil hat QAnon person by just saying the media's lying to us. They're always lying. I remember those photos of the Aboriginal people with chains around their necks. I'm not sure I was ever taught any context for it. You did history, Safa, nothing about the frontier wars. Yeah, there's really not. Yeah, good on you, Justin, living in the most understanding and sympathetic part of Australia. It's a complex question, Safa. I think the education system fails quite badly to have any sort of realistic appraisal of what settlers did here. And yes, who knows what New Zealand's new Prime Minister is going to be. Oh, yeah, and that's the thing that upsets Indigenous Tasmanians. I think by some interpretations, Truganini may have been the last full-blooded Indigenous native Tasmanian. The idea that means there's no Aborigines in Tasmania, extremely insulting to the people who are there. And also, it's like, oh, they're not real Aboriginal. Well, you still marginalise them and were prejudiced against them for their Aboriginal heritage. So there you go. I am quite worried about that American style stuff permeating here. It's bad. Oh, okay. So Dr. Jones' your recipe: 1.5 ounces of Lagavulin 16. Nice. That's a class whiskey. Sweet vermouth, Angostura. Oh, a Luxardo syrup. Oh man, that sounds good. So you think on TikTok, someone said there were 16 million referendums. Everyone had their own belief. Well, it's certainly friggin' disconcerting how detached from reality. Earthline, probably our next federal election. Who knows? I mean, if Dutton's still Liberal leader, I mean, hopefully he is, because he's electoral poison. But yeah. Yeah, Justin, I do not know near enough about New Zealand politics to make any sort of pronouncement on that. When will Peter Credlin stop blaming Dan Andrews? It's vile and offensive. Honey, what did people think of Albanese? I don't know. I really don't know. Just because you reckon, yeah. There was reports that there was actually going to be change that lying in election stuff could be actually illegal, like an indictable offense by the next federal election. Who knows? Dr. Jones, I made a drink called the Constantine, which dates back about 100 years. And it was dry gin, sweet vermouth, a little bit of maraschino liqueur, and just a dash of absinthe and 2 dashes of orange bitters. I had 3.5 cocktails last night, and they were good. So it's Tim Smith. Really, really good venue out on North Road. Like, way better a venue than you'd expect to find that far out into the suburbs, called the Arcadia Whiskey Bar. Really good food, really good drinks. We go there usually at least a couple times a year. Really good. Well, you kind of think if Rupert Murdoch didn't exist, someone else would. Who knows? Oh, Strictly Sega. That is the line the weirdo fucking shithead LNP types who don't understand how irrelevant they are talking. It's a line spouted by fucking morons or just lying opportunists. Actually, the venue is doing fairly well, which is nice because we'd been there like 6 months ago and it was really quiet. And we're going, oh God, they're not going to close down, are they? This place is really good. But we're talking to the guy who owns it, and he said they've been really busy. And so that's good. You know all about date night. I got home. We actually, from this venue, which is a little ways away from where we live, got home between 9:30 and 10. Well and truly ready for bed at that point because I had a few drinks under. So it's like every third comment on any TikTok vid talking about how disappointed we are in ourselves. Again, there's an army of spam accounts that were just sharing misinformation and whatnot. And the idea that the result of the referendum should have any bearing on Albanese's leadership is just some horseshit cooked up by the LNP and various cookers. I mean, drunken fuckwit Barnaby Joyce said it last week. Yes, 3 cocktails, then bed is a pretty good thing. I probably had more than that on Friday night. I did stay up till 2 a.m. though, so that's the whole thing. Oh, nice. Strictly said you went on a date night last night. Yeah, we had it planned, and we were at the venue before 7 o'clock, and the writing was on the wall by that stage. Sophie took you out, nice and toasted on red wine from Mornington. Nice. I think I mentioned actually went out in the Mornington Peninsula a couple weekends ago, which is wine country, but I don't like wine. But there are distilleries there, so we went to distilleries. I who the fuck knows what federal Labor are doing? I'd really like them to stand for something and not be scared by this. Every now and then I feel like I should go on TikTok because I never do. I never go on TikTok, but I was local school, no democracy sausage, no stalls, no nothing. I was really surprised. Also, there was no one there. There was no lines. Middle of the day. You don't want another referendum? Yeah, fair enough. But they're going to weigh up a lot of things. Top off a bad night, a bad experience at Uber Eats. Oh God, that does sound like a drag. But man, the food and drinks at this place, Arcadia, so good. So freaking good. Like, they do literally the best dessert cocktail I've ever had. They call it a white chocolate passion fruit martini. It's kind of like vaguely inspired by a porn star martini with the passion fruit flavors. But yeah, a white chocolate liqueur, and it's just fucking great. So Earthline, more schools don't have democracy sausage made by school PNCs. Yeah, there was nothing. But this same school, I remember at a previous election, they had a whole sort of mini fete happening, all these stalls, and they had nothing at all. This time I was a bit surprised. I'm glad you got a good full refund, Justin. That was kind of sucky. Yeah, begging for the phone charge is really dodgy. You don't really want someone you don't know hanging around long enough to charge their phone. I don't mean to be mean, but, you know, weirdos in the world. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's a weird old world. What can we say? Yeah, so I would hope when there were just overwhelming polls saying the Voice to Parliament referendum was going to fail, I would hope Labor had been working for a while on their next steps plan and their recovery plan for having the referendum fail. And because the LNP telegraphed quite clearly that they were going to use this as an attack point. I feel like I'm being set up here. I feel like this is a straight line. No, I said it out loud. OG butt stuff. Did you ever use Henway to charge your phone? So I say, what's a Henway? I don't want to steal your thunder. When I said it out loud, I got it. So you never vote on voting day. Hate the crowds. Don't want people pestering you. There is at least there weren't any no campaigners. Although I was slightly disappointed because I just wanted to tell them to fuck off. About £1.50. See, I didn't want to steal your thunder. It's like when I said it out. In my head, I was literally going, "What the fuck is a Henway?" And then I said, "What's a Henway?" And he lost a 3-in-1 charger. Oh, yeah, that can happen, man. You wear headphones to not have people bug you? No, I'm happy. Like, there were yes campaigners, and I went like, love your work. Don't need a pamphlet. Justin, you can be forgiven to Uber drivers. But yeah, no, begging for a phone charger in the wrong order. It's called, no. It's just no. That's an infringement. That is definitely not on. I mean, I have a lot of sympathy for Uber drivers because they're so fucking exploited and the whole system is actually fucked. But it's like, come on, what the fuck is this? We're definitely going for the dad jokes and butt stuff. You go for it. Rottweiler dude. Letter from hell. Don't think I want to read it. Oh, you see, you're the first person to comment. The title I gave the stream. Have you ever received a letter from hell? It is the anniversary of when authorities received a letter that I think it's from 1888, on this day in 1888, a letter that purported to be from Jack the Ripper. And I think it was signed off from hell. And although lots and lots of letters were sent to various media and police and members of the public purporting to be from Jack the Ripper, the overwhelming, almost all of them are regarded as being meaningless. Not that there's any proof the From Hell letter actually came from Jack the Ripper, but it's one of the very few that have been taken seriously. How Tim's fifth was by 7:30. I'd only had one drink. I mean, it was a strong drink. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't have wanted to drive a car just after drinking it, really. But that was only my first drink at 7:30. What did I have first? Oh yeah, it was their take on a penicillin. The classic penicillin is Scotch and ginger and honey, and they had their own version of it. They call traditional medicine. It's quite nice. Bit of lemon juice in there too. It's a sour. It's nice. And Mrs. Angry started with their old fashioned that has a walnut and maple syrup, and it's so fucking good. And then she had a sour inspired by Turkish Delight, which they just call a Turkish Delight, which is also fucking awesome. That stands up with the best sour cocktails I've ever had. They're one that they call a what do you call it? I just said it. Turkish Delight. Jesus. Then I had a Sazerac, which is a classic New Orleans version of an old fashioned, which was really good. And then we had the dessert cocktails, the white chocolate passion fruit martini, and I had a fluffy duck. Oh yeah, no, ABC News last night didn't move to. So you said, sorry, you set up an outdoor cinema. Oh, that's great. That's really good. Oh, cheapers, I found a letter in a bottle. Trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended warranty. Yes. Oh man, that was actually pretty gosh darn good. Put out in the ingredients. I have a very good sweet vermouth from South Australia. Justin, it's possible to exploit the Uber system by taking forever because they're delayed, because the restaurant was slow, they can be paid more. There you go. I didn't know that. But the whole system is fucked. It hurts the food outlets. It exploits the drivers. The company Uber is a soulless monster that is actually a scam. You read into it. The whole Uber thing is a scam. It's just fucked and evil. I was going to go get a big piece of ice. I don't really need a big piece of ice. I've still got small pieces of ice in here. Wait, I have this urge to add some of that absinthe to this drink I'm about to give myself. Put ice in the glass. Hey, you Celtic King. It's stuck. That's it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh God, talking about outdoor cinemas. I'm a bit of a sucker for when Mr. Beast does those videos comparing a $1 thing for to $100 million thing. And his latest one was a $1 house versus a $100 million house. He's basically going to all these really expensive mansions, and I mean, as is usual, his stuff, he's indulging in hyperbole, and what's in the video is usually not literally what's claimed in the title, and there's quite a bit of fudging of definitions to meet it. But it's like, the $100 million house, was full of artworks, and he was including the artworks in the value of the house. But I do find it entertaining just seeing these weird things. But anyway, the $100 million house was in the hills above Los Angeles looking down, and there was this outdoor pool that you could bring up a screen on, and the screen was about, I'd say it was somewhere in the region of 4 meters high by 10 meters wide. It was freakishly huge. It was at least 3 or 4 meters high, and it was widescreen, so you work out the proportions yourself. It was just ridiculously large. So you could be on this balcony that was overlooking all of Los Angeles, and you could raise this huge screen up and watch things on it. Oh god, you've got a million of him, don't you, about stuff? Loving it. Yeah, I don't know. The letter from hell was from Jack the Ripper, so maybe VD's right up there. Oh, sorry, Dr. Josu, the Remember the Main. Yeah, one of the cocktail. I had to Remember the Main in the past and wasn't super into it. And one of the cocktail channels I follow did a video on the Remember the Main this weekend, and I was like, yeah. And he's really talking it up and going, I know my tastes have changed over the years. Maybe I should make a Remember the Main again and see if I like it. Is it if you turn the sound up, you're going to piss off the neighbors? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. The Las Vegas Sphere is trippy as fuck. Apparently, yeah, both inside and outside. It's just wild. I'd only seen the things of, the quite freaky images on the outside of it. But yeah, the U2 concert was on the inside, if I remember. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Celtic, we're both evil for our girly feminine hair. It's like, he's just jealous. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Got my drink happening. It's not really happening. Oh, that's really fucking yummy. It's probably slightly over-sweetened when I made that one, actually. That's what I was going to go with, Earth Lion. Maybe it's Maybelline. I know, you've got majestic hair, Celtic. I love it. Of course he's jealous. All right, I am, literally. I'm just going to do it. How steady is my hand? I really only want to put a few drops of absinthe in. Yep, that's enough. That was a fairly controlled pour. Mix in some absinthe. What's that? Oh, yeah, that's just a really light licorice aroma. Oh, that fucking works. Yum. Maybe it's Maybach. That's a car, isn't it? Isn't that a luxury car? No, that is true. The hair for me, did not happen overnight. It did happen over about 2 years. Oh man, that was really. Next time I make one of those, this is an experimental drink, whereas using a powdered milk thing. And the whole. Sorry, I was also still thinking about this Mr. Beast video. The one of the houses had like 100 luxury cars in it or something, and it's like, what the fuck is that about? I know some people get to be obsessive collectors, but yeah, that seems stupid. Oh god, I had an email. One of the Australian distillers that I buy booze from time to time, Heliers Road in Tasmania, they make just like the friggin' best cream. God, now I feel like I might treat myself to some Heliers Road cream liqueur. Might actually go out and get some after I have this drink. But they're a whiskey distillery. I've got one of their whiskeys up there. It's really good. Yeah, and they teased they were going to release this whiskey. It was like a single barrel had been aging for 21 years, which makes it the oldest single malt whiskey release in Australia. So it's like a real real collector's edition. And I'm going like, ooh, that's gonna get pricey. And it was like, yep, they finally said the price, and it was like $1,350 dollars for one bottle of whiskey. It's like, if I'd won Lotto, I would get it because it's special. Mr. Beast is what you call the indigestion you get from. Yes, well, you're going to eat food from convenience stores. That's going to get you. And that's a good point, Justin. You do learn from the Mr. Beast videos. Most expensive isn't always the best. Dr. Jones has a GoFundMe price, $13.50 for a bottle of whiskey. Yeah. I swear to God, if I won Lotto, I'd never tell anyone. But there would be signs, and it would be me buying $20,000 bottles of whiskey and using them to make a cocktail just to freak out whiskey wankers. Because all the most expensive bottles of spirits are whiskey. Man, that little bit of absinthe in there was a good idea. The house called The One. Well, I'll do a search. Wait, I got signed out of my Google account? Okay, Google's fucking broken. Okay, cool. I'm searching house called The One. Bel Air, the Mansion. Oh, yeah, there you go. Mega mansion known as The One, sold for $126 million. Yes. Okay, I reckon that is the one that he was in. When they made the video, it hadn't been sold. I did like the airline flights one, actually, Justin. Yes. Yes, I don't know how many more of them he can do. He's latched onto a bit of a formula with those, $1 versus $100 million things. Yeah, that guy that built that house went into bankruptcy. Yeah, that's a ridiculous thing. But yeah, I was just looking at when I looked that up, and I think it is the same house. It did sell this year. So I think the Mr. Beast video was actually shot quite a while ago, and it was still for sale when they posted it. Yes, and that's the media stories I'm seeing were like saying the guy's trying to sell it for $500 million. Didn't it? Fuck. All I'm saying, Justin. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. He should. He doesn't drink alcohol. I think his cohorts do, but god damn, yeah. Do a just get like the most expensive bottles of booze in the world and make a cocktail with them. He should absolutely do that. So, what did I have for dinner on Friday? I think we talked about that. I had the burger. I went to a new burger place and it was good because I wanted to treat myself because, I don't know, I had a pretty fucking rough day at work. Okay, so now I feel compelled to look up. Okay. Most. What am I doing? Most expensive alcohol in the world. Jesus Christ. Okay. D'Amalfi Limoncello Supreme. By far the most expensive spirit in the world. Only 2 known bottles. Oh, see, this is stupid as fuck. The neck of the bottle contains 3 single 13-carat diamonds and a giant 18.5-carat diamond. That's straight up fucking stupid because the alcohol's not expensive. There are gems in the bottle. That's a cheat and it's fucking stupid. So, okay, now here's a proper one. It's a cognac aged from 40 to 150 years. Only 786 decanters made. That goes for $165,000. Bowmore 1957, 165,000. 54-year-old Scotch. That's an Isla Scotch. Man, that'd be fucking wild. Nuns Island Galway distiller, 20-year-old pot still whiskey, $200,000. So that distillery closed in 1908. The whiskey was distilled in the 1800s, known as being one of the smoothest, tastiest whiskeys in existence. There are no known unopened bottles left. So there you go. Dolmore 62, 200,000. 62-year-old whiskey. There were only 12 bottles of it. Macallan M, 6 litre. Sold for 630,000. It's a 6 litre bottle? Okay. That's pretty strange. 6 litre bottle. Amanda's coconut brandy, $1 million. Matured in Hamila casks. First ever clear brandy made from coconuts. Never heard of that, and I don't know how accurate that $1 million thing is. Diva vodka. Okay, well that's... Yeah, once the price is about the bottle, it's like, get fucked. So here's a cognac, 100 years old, 24-carat gold sterling silver bottle covered in bling. 7,000 diamonds. Yeah, again, that's the bottle, not the spirit. That's fucking stupid. Yeah, okay, that's actually a really shithouse list. $20 most expensive alcoholic drinks in the world. Salvatore's Legacy, Playboy London's house drink of choice. Made by the legendary bartender himself, Salvatore Calabrese. A 1778 cognac, a 1770 Kumul liqueur, 1860 orange curacao, and a little Angostura bitters from the early 1900s. A $8,000 cocktail. The Winston cocktail is available from one Australian bartender with a really rare cognac. Yeah, anyway, that's getting silly. I'm going to stop looking those things up. Oh, Dr. Jones, I've seen whiskies for $20,000 and $30,000. Sorry. Okay. Excellent question. How much would Mr. Beast have to pay me to wank him off? Do we cuddle afterwards? Because that would make a difference. Yeah. Mr. Beast is really supportive of his trans friend, which is really nice. Okay, is that a yes? Mr. Beast will cuddle with me afterwards? Man, I'd do it for free.
Sorry, I just couldn't resist saying that. He's going to cuddle me afterwards. That's just bros being bros then, you know. I think I'm the opposite of a bottle wanker. It's just stupid when I'm thinking about expensive spirits. It's about the spirit, not the bottle. So if it's something that's covered in gemstones, that's just stupid. Ooh, you found a good page. What is that for? Expensive spirits? Here we go. Most expensive single bottles of alcohol ever sold. That might be a bit more like it. Let's see. A 1869 Chateau Lafite Rothschild sold for $342,000. That's red wine. Okay. $1947 Chateau Cheval Blanc, $445,000. And that's a 6-liter bottle. Okay. Okay, so these are all wines. 1945 Chateau Mouton Rothschild, a 3-liter bottle, sold for $454,000. Ooh, a Japanese whiskey. 52-year-old Kuroizawa. Distillery closed in 2001. Only 41 bottles were produced of this whiskey from a single ex-sherry cask. $655,000 for a bottle of Japanese whiskey. 1992 Screaming Eagle 6-liter bottle. It's another wine. Okay. Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh, another Japanese whiskey. Yamazaki, 55-year-old. $767,000. Another wine, 1945 Domaine della Romani Conti, $815,000, a Pinot Noir. A Macallan 1926, Peter Blake, 60-year-old, $1.3 million, ex-sherry cask. About 40 bottles come from it. The Macallan are doing well. The Macallan 1926 Valerian, 60-year-old, $1.5 million. Famous Italian painter Valerio Adami is asked to design the label. Depicts a nude figure posing in front of what appears to be another bottle of Macallan. Only 12 bottles were made. It's rumored that one of them was destroyed in a Japanese earthquake. God, Macallan are just killing it in here. 1926, 60-year-old Michael Dillon. And there was only one bottle of it. And it sold for $2.1 million. First whiskey to sell for over £1 million. God, Macallan again. 6-year-old Fine and Rare sold for $2.75 million. Most expensive bottle ever sold, Macallan Fine and Rare 60-year-old. In 2019, it sold for $1.9 million at Sotheby's. So there you go. Mr. Beast could easily do $1 to $1 million. But stuff, are you reading these from a book? Just the number of dad jokes you can. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the number of dad jokes. Top 30 most popular liquors. Oh, yes. See, you get Chinese drinks being popular just because of the population. How many? I'm going to say 0. Without looking at the list, how many do I have? But I will look at the Discord. And check. Okay, so the most popular alcohols. 30 most popular liquors in the world. Okay, from VinePair. Okay. So, Ichiko Shoju. I don't have any shoju. Royal Challenge. It's an Indian whiskey. See, I still haven't tried. And it's made with a blend of... So it's a blend of Scotch and Indian malts. Okay. Gordon's Gin. I don't have any Gordon's Gin. Hennessy. I had a bottle of Hennessy emptied a while ago. It was actually... someone brought it for young Mr. Hungry for a party when he was still here. So if we just go broadly Hennessy, I used to have some Hennessy, but Crown Royal I don't have. That's Canadian whiskey. There's a vodka. Hibny Dar. I've never heard of it. Oh, there you go. Safra, it's a Ukrainian vodka. Aperol. I might have some Aperol. I don't think so. I think I have had Aperol. Bailey's Irish Cream. I don't have any Bailey's Irish Cream. I have some other cream liqueurs. McDowell's Rum. It's an Indian. Wow, they're drinking a lot of booze in India. 8 p.m. whiskey, another Indian one. Ballantine's Scotch. I don't have any Ballantine's Scotch. Then there's another Ukrainian vodka. Kotskya. Jägermeister. I don't think I've got any Jägermeister. I have had Jägermeister in the past. I don't have now. Blender's Pride whiskey. A Seagram's whiskey. Again, India is buying it all, apparently. There you go. Jameson's Irish. I don't have bog standard Jamesons. I probably have had in the past. I don't at the moment. Tito's vodka. I think I have actually had Tito's vodka in the past. I don't have any now. Captain Morgan, I definitely don't have. Absolute, I don't have, but I've probably had Absolute vodka in the past. Jack Daniels. I had some little bottles of Jack Daniels somewhere. Bacardi, I definitely don't have Bacardi. Emperador brandy, a Filipino originally. There you go. Johnny Walker, I don't have any Johnny Walker whiskey. Imperial Blue, another Indian one. Okay, apparently they are drinking a lot of booze in India. Officer's Choice whiskey, another blend in India of Scotch and Indian. Royal Stag. That's a blended Scotch. Again, popular in India. 10-day rum. A Filipino rum. There you go. Then Smirnoff vodka, which I definitely don't have. McDowell's number 1. Whiskey. Ginebra San Miguel gin. Never heard of it. And then Jinro Soju is the most popular. So I don't think I have any of those, but I have had, I don't know, half a dozen of them in the past. Ooh, use Martell VSOP. Damn, they make some fine cognac. I love they have a drink which they can't market as cognac because they finished it in ex-bourbon barrels. It's called Blue Swift. I think it's their VSOP. It's either their VS or VSOP cognac. And they've finished it in ex-bourbon barrels. Because of the rules around cognac, they can't call it cognac at that point. But it's pretty good. Yes, Tricky Sager, I think it would be India's huge population that's contributing to it. So Tricky Sager, you have 2 of the most popular ones. Yes, I think I don't have any now, but I've had up to half a dozen of them in the past. Well, Dr. Abigail, that's fair. I live in Australia and I drink a lot. Oh. But there are some like global award-winning Indian whiskies. I have to try one day. And that's probably their colonial past that influenced that. But yeah, whiskey is apparently quite popular in India. What's funny to me is they're going like, oh, this is the biggest selling spirit in the world. And I've never heard of it. But yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. I think I made what I was calling an improved. It was better Sex on the Beach, because Sex on the Beach is a shit cocktail. So I did an improved version I called Better Sex on the Beach. Dr. Jones, Martell VSOP and VS are the same price. Yeah, because for those who don't know, the gradations of cognac is based on how old they're aged. VS is very special, and I forget, that's like 2 years. And VSOP is very special old pale, which I think is 5 years. And then you actually get XO, extra old, which is 10 years or more. But yeah, that's weird. Yeah, thanks, Strictly Sacred. Now I want to look it up. YouTube. Am I? No, that's. I thought I was logged in. I'm like, wowzers, what the fuck is that? Actually, if I look on here, I want to look up the recipe I used for Better Sex on the Beach. Cocktails I've made with beach in the name: Faithful Beach, Beach Margarita, and Better Sex on the Beach. So, I'll turn that sound down. So, it was 2 years ago. Okay. Oh God, I didn't even put the fucking recipe in the description. But I know I didn't use vodka. I probably used white rum. My little cocktail channel finally passed 1,000 subscribers, by the way. Son of a Beach. That would be another one. Jonathan Frakes is a Star Trek guy. So Jonathan Frakes asks you things. Oh, yes. That's when he was hosting that thing where he said, is this a true story or not? And hi, Wolf Queen, by the way. Thank you. My brain stopped working again. Will Riker. I was watching, there are some silly short animations on YouTube, which are official, like they're put out by Paramount to advertise the show. And I watched one today called Worst Contact, and it was the proper actors doing the voices. It was like Will Riker leading a first contact mission, and it's all going well, except the aliens just have a bunch of really gross habits, and it gets to the stage where no one wants to be around them, not because they're evil or violent or anything. It's just they have really gross habits. And I agree, Wolf Cream, those meme cuts of Jonathan Frakes either asking questions or Jonathan Frakes saying, it's not true. And yes, he climbs over chairs to sit on them, which is super weird. Yeah, it's what was the show actually called where he did the telling you wild stories, and some of them were true, they were claiming some of them were true, but some of them weren't. Like, so it was always messing with your head. Are they going to tell you this story is true, or are they going to tell you this story was made up? I don't know. I have no idea why he climbed over the chairs. I don't know, was it Tales of the Unexpected? I don't even remember. But yes, those little supercuts from that show, whatever it was, are pretty funny. Okay, so Strickler saying you're backing up. It is, he does that because he has a bad back, which is extremely interesting. You wanted him to climb over Wesley Crusher to sit on a chair. Fair enough. This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Yeah. The way urban legends used to get passed around before the thing. I could. All right. Jonathan Frakes. Oh, it's called Beyond Belief. Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. So James Brolin hosted season 1 and Jonathan Frakes hosted seasons 2, 3, and 4. And it's from the late 90s. Oh, have they revamped it? This entry's kind of suggesting they've revamped it. Let me see. Yeah, season 5. Season produced exclusively for German television. Introductions by Jonathan Frakes were recorded in Los Angeles. So English versions have not been released in any market. It's only been released in Germany. Okay, that's interesting. Well, there you go. I did actually learn. Well, I learned 2 things. I was reminded of what the name of that show was. And I learned that there's some new ones being produced for German TV, which was a genuine surprise to me. Yeah, Dr. Jones, it sounds like English language versions will eventually be released, but Wikipedia is saying they haven't been released anywhere yet. So, I have some soda water now. Don't want to get too red-assed. Gotta go into the office tomorrow and meet my intern. And I'm going to have a real busy day tomorrow. See what happens. Oh, yeah, it was Wolf Queen. I'm using a thing called StreamYard that lets me restream to multiple platforms. And so when I do these streams, they're usually going to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Most people watch on YouTube. Some people watch on Twitch. And occasionally someone watches on Facebook. It's like 0 effort on my part to restream to all the platforms. So it's like, yeah, why not? Pick up the occasional follower on Twitch. The only downside is I don't get to do any of the Twitch native stuff because I'm not streaming on Twitch. But, what the hey. I have passed the phase where I want to be particularly famous for this sort of thing. Just going to continue, or at least attempt to continue, to grow my cocktail channel just because I want people to send me free booze and other free shit. And it'll be a while before anyone does that. Mind you, there are a couple of people at local distilleries who know me and always look after me if I visit. That's nice. So that's a thing. But yes, I have modest goals in life. I asked my cocktail channel. It's called Angry Cocktails. That's the one I post pre-recorded. I basically don't post pre-recorded material to this channel anymore. So I went through a phase of uploading something every day. I think I managed it for, God, it might have been 6 months. I don't know. But then I basically halved the rate of uploads, and it hasn't affected total number of views. So that was clearly a good idea. I do the YouTube Shorts thing. I do a short video, then a day off, then a longer video, then a day off, then a short video. So I upload 3 or 4 videos a week, half shorts, half longer ones. And sometimes the longer ones are only 2 or 3 minutes long. Sometimes they're 5, 10 minutes, depending on what I'm doing. I have this urge to have another fucking challenge with my whiskeys, blind tasting of a whole bunch of whiskeys to see which one is my favorite if I do a blind taste test. Yes, sorry, Stricken Sega. I fucking thought of that this weekend but didn't do it. But yes, I'll do playlist. I'll try and get the best whiskey cocktails, best rum cocktails, best gin cocktails, best brandy cocktails. Do a bit of a playlist. Or multiple playlists, I should say. Because it was a very good idea you came up with, and I definitely should do it. I've just got to get my shit together. Okay, that was literally, you just looked at the channel, cocaine. That was literally a thing Tom Hanks did on Stephen Colbert's show. It's not terrible. I used like Prosecco or something rather than champagne. I just, basically went in and danced. What can I get a little bottle of something bubbly that's not awful? And weird as it sounds, the Coke and champagne's not bad. All right, I'm definitely going to do it. Yeah, and that was Tom Hanks being a bit edgy, calling Coke and champagne cocaine. Yeah, but that's probably my most viewed video when I made cocaine. It's Pepsi Max and Prosecco, I think, as opposed to Coke and champagne. I don't even remember. Did I actually use the good? Because I also have this sort of boutique cola made by Fever Tree. They call it Distiller's Cola. They say it's all the really traditional cola flavors that makes it a better mixer. Might have used that. I don't even remember. Pepsane. See, that's marketing wise not as good as cocaine. And also, I know if it's Pepsi Max and Prosecco, it would be Pepsecco. Actually, I like Pepsecco better than Pepsane, but thanks, dude. I appreciate word of mouth recommending me the people at BWS. Nice, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm just a little guy. Did anyone see that fucking thing? It was like a bit of a meme because it was on a social media post. And I forget the exact context, but a woman saying it was this weird thing. I think it was an ex-boyfriend would do because he was short, like, like shorter than me, which is saying something. He's like under 5'6", and when they were out, he would start shit with really big guys, and like just be really obnoxious and sarcastic to them, to the point where these big guys just wanted to punch him, and he'd do this thing where he's going, "Oh, hey, I'm just a little guy, and it's my birthday," and they'd never punch him. And pain. Oh, that's some marketing. Pepsi and champagne is pain. Nice. Always got to be thinking about the marketing when you do stuff. My word. That's a nice piece of work right there. But yes, it's a whole thing. I think I've got a ways to go before people start giving me lots of free stuff. But anyway, you're funny. I think you're funny. That was funny. But who knows? You also get this weird thing on YouTube, whereas you get more views or more subscribers, and you get promoted more, so you get more views and subscribers just because you were getting more views and subscribers. But yeah, YouTube's so weird. I don't know, but what are you gonna do? I just enjoy doing stuff. It's I mean, you know, like I said, I would like the Cocktail Channel to be successful. I'd like to be getting free shit from it. But literally just creating stuff and having a bit of interaction with people is really enjoyable. It's like, because I joined YouTube in the early days, like about a year after YouTube existed, and it was completely new, just this incredibly easy to use platform where you could create content and upload it and reach an audience. And I was so excited by it. Like in the first year, I probably fucking uploaded somewhere in the region of, it would be 350 to 400 videos in the first year, because I was just so excited by the platform. I remember there were days, it was basically, I would have an idea, and I just had this little pocket camera, and I would shoot it and upload it. And then I'd have another idea. There were days where I uploaded 3 videos in a day. And it was literally just because I'd have an idea. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to do this. And then I'd have another idea and I'd shoot that. So I think in the first year, I probably uploaded somewhere between 350 and 400 videos. But it's just oof. And how long has my channel been there now? 17 years? 18? I don't even know. And because I've had multiple channels, so there'd be an absolutely freaky number of videos uploaded. Yeah, I actually, YouTube can probably just tell me how many videos there are on my main channel. Yeah, okay, that's my main channel. My channel. The thing that just tells me how many videos I have. Yeah, so I've only uploaded 4 pre-recorded videos in the last 2 years. It's all been live streams. Oh, there it is. 3.6 thousand videos. So very roughly 3,600 videos. And that's just on the main channel. I don't think that counts the live streams. Or maybe it does. Maybe it does. Wow. I was also just looking at the thumbnails for the live streams. I've been using the Microsoft image generator a lot. Not all the time, but for a lot of the thumbnails for the live streams, I use an image generator. Yeah, well, there you go. So now I'm obsessed with just looking at the thumbnails and working out how many of them were auto-generated and how many were just like images I took off the internet. Going down a bit of a rabbit hole. So you've learned a decent amount of cocktails and formulas. Oh yeah, no, I'm very big on create riffs as well. No, I never had ADSL. I went straight from dial-up to cable, and I never exceeded my limit with the uploads because I wasn't really uploading HD for a long time. It's actually why I got onto YouTube. I'd started a written blog, and people were saying, you should do this as a podcast. The world might have been really different if I'd done that, if I'd started a podcast 18 years ago. But then I looked at it, and I'd just gotten broadband, and YouTube was just taking off. YouTube had been around about a year, and I thought, I can leapfrog, not go text to audio. I'll just go straight text to video. Because there was also an idea I had that I was working out material to do stand-up. And then I soon worked out, I can reach a way bigger audience on YouTube than I can by performing live. Like if a stand-up gets a couple of dozen people at a gig, they'll feel okay about it. But I, was getting thousands of views on YouTube. In fact, Safa, the first blogging platform I used was Blogger, and I eventually switched to WordPress. I thought WordPress was a better featured platform. But my very first blog, which was called Angry 365, because I was going to be angry 365 days a year, and my idea was I was going to push myself to post something to the blog every day for a year, just to get me in the thing of just constantly writing. And I did actually achieve that in the first year, posted something every day. And when I decided to switch over to WordPress, and I was posting on both platforms for a while, but someone already had the extension on WordPress, Angry 365. And so I had to come up with a different name for WordPress, and I came up with Angry Aussie. And so if I had been able to get Angry 365 on WordPress, I probably would have. And then when I switched to YouTube, my channel probably would have been called Angry 365, Angry 365 days a year, rather than Angry Aussie. So the only reason Angry Aussie exists is that I couldn't get the extension Angry 365 on WordPress. And that's just one of those little quirks of history. I mean, honestly, Dr. Jones, Angry Every Day would have been a better name. That absolutely would have been a better name. But yeah, it's a thing. Oh, and I was posting to both Blogger and WordPress for a while, and then WordPress started to get way more traction than Blogger, so I stuck with WordPress, and that's why I stuck with the Angry Aussie name, because I had actually built up an audience. Angry Aussie is a way better YouTube name than Angry365. But if I had been able to get Angry365 on WordPress, I probably would have. And so that probably would have been my brand. So I'm actually lucky that I couldn't get Angry365 on WordPress, because Angry Aussie is a way better, catchier username. Way better. Angry Every Day would have been a good name. And yes, Dr. Jones, that may have been both a help and somewhat of a hindrance. May have been a help with Australian audiences and may have been a hindrance with global audiences. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. Also, yeah, the one thing I've learned is I am actually very bad at promotion and playing the game, because I was doing reasonably well on YouTube for a couple of years, and then they changed how things work and I didn't change along with it. And that's on me. That's not a sort of blaming YouTube or anything. That's on me. If they changed how things work and I didn't change. But yeah, I probably haven't, taken the channel seriously, as in, oh, I'm going to get famous on this for like 10 years or even longer. It's probably only the first 5 years of YouTube. I was really into it. And I was really thinking, this could be a job. But I just kept doing it and kept the channel going because I enjoyed it. And then honestly, COVID changed my whole mindset, and I didn't want so much to do the angry, shouty recorded videos. And I just like doing the hangouts on the live streams, just being chill. And I get my creative reward from the cocktail channel now. So I get the best of it. Yeah, it is literally getting old and mellowing out. Also, a really big part of the decision was moving towards looking at taking on a permanent job, because I'd been a contractor for 20 years and probably only, seriously, in 20 years, probably only 2 or 3 workplaces had people who found out about the Angry Aussie channel. And it was never a big deal, but there's always potentially could have been. And when in the last 3 years that I'd been moving towards, a permanent job, I thought about it and I realized it's not likely, but it's possible if I was still doing the YouTube stuff, it could have a negative impact on my day job. And I just thought about it and I went, if I keep doing this, there is significant potential downside and almost no realistic upside, like monetarily. And it's like, well, you really think about it, it doesn't take much thinking to think, I probably should tone down on that. And that, honestly, Strictly Sega, that was a huge part of it. It was too much. And I literally just thought, I feel like what people now is, anyone who wants it, is this is just a chill sort of sanity preserving hangout. It just like, it was too much. COVID's just too much. And I just wanted, a thing where people could just hang out and just be chill. Yeah, the angry stuff just seemed wrong to me. Yeah, well, it's calming for me too. And it's a nice way to chill. And as I got more into the cocktail channel, it worked for that as well. So it definitely works for me. And, if it worked for a few other people as well, then that's good. So I was just wondering what this little icon from Microsoft meant, and it's kind of pointless, but I know at least what it is now, so that's good. Yeah, I like the hangout. I like the live hangouts. They're just like it's chill, and sometimes there's a few people, and there's a lot going on, and we're having fun. Sometimes it's just a couple of people, and that's cool too. So I just like it. Drinking my soda water. But it is what it is. Oh, yeah, have your evenings planned. I like that. Join the stream at 8. He's doing Wordle at midnight. That sounds like some witchcraft at work there, Heine. Gathering around to do the mystic words at midnight. Do. Oh, sorry, I still had the Wikipedia open for the From Hell letter, which I've never looked at, and I didn't realize how short the letter was. But this is the purported Jack the Ripper letter. It just said at the top, From Hell, and it was sent to a guy called Lusk. Mr. Lusk, sir, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you. To other piece I fried and ate. It was very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that took it out, if only you wait a while longer. Signed, Catch Me When You Can, Mr. Lusk. And lots of quirky spelling, but everyone used to do very quirky spelling in England. I remember seeing a thing, like we have very little hard documentary evidence about William Shakespeare, for instance. There is actually surprising little hard documentary evidence. It's one thing, it's some sort of court appearance he had, and there's a transcription of the hearing. Someone's written by hand, and in one page of writing, the person doing the transcription spells Shakespeare 3 different ways. Like, people would just fucking spell however they wanted, and more power to them, I say. Oh, okay. I thought that must have been Heine. Wordle resets at 12. Could be witchcraft. So Strictly Sega, you do streaming movies 8:30 after the Angry stream. Oh yeah, and that's fair. And yeah, and certainly I did the longest party night this week that I'd done for a while. Did like the full 6 hours through to 2 a.m. That's just a real fucking endurance run. And I wasn't even that tired, but I had was it Dr. Abigail and Grasshopper in the chat, and it was just like, I'm not even that tired, but it's like 2 a.m. Should probably go. The party nights. I'm sorry. I just felt like looking at the previous party nights. Last week was 6 hours. The previous one was 4.5 hours. There's one that was only 3. Oh no, there was a Hobbit Day was a 6-hour one. And there was a 4-hour one. And a 5.5-hour one. The Star Trek Day. 5.5-hour one for Chicken Point. Oh, okay, I've been staying up longer than I thought. I didn't think I'd been doing them that long. And there's one that's just 3.5 hours. Five hours, yeah. God, man, I really stay up for some of them. Three and a half hours. 3.5 hours. Oh, there's a little run of 3.5-hour ones. And there's a 4-hour 40. Anyway. Disappearing down a rabbit hole then. Justin, your cousin had another baby. Oh, there you go. That happens. Oh yeah, no, there's certainly a few when we're in deep Tim Smith mode by the end. The notorious ones from the first year or two of COVID where I actually wandered off and fell asleep for a couple of hours, but left the stream running when I wasn't there. Yeah, no, that's fair. That is an actual fair response when I'm extremely pissed. It's just like, damn. Oh god, I just realized this is showing the browser I have is on autoplay. And looking at my hair from, okay, hey, look, I'll share this. I won't bother with the sound. When was this one uploaded? November 2021. So it's coming up on 2 years. Clarified painkiller. But so this is how I actually don't mind this length. Man, maybe okay. I don't. I'm talking. I'll show you. Where are we? Present. Share screen. Window. Oh, okay. Now you just that's not me. Wait, why did that go dark? Why is it doing that? Are you seeing anything apart from darkness on that screen? Look at that. I kind of like that hair length. Maybe I should get it cut back that length. That's 2 years ago. Yeah, no. You're not meant to be able to hear it. I didn't put the sound on. I was just like, yeah, that was before I'd gotten into the colorful shirts. I used to try and dress and look professional on the videos. And fairy lights. Loved my fairy lights. But yeah, looking at that hair length, I kind of like that hair length. I don't know. Because I've been very seriously thinking about my hair length. I don't know what's going weird with the screen share there, but yes, different glasses as well. They were kind of one-off, but also, I don't know if you'll notice, my hair's not brushed back today. I'm kind of playing with it. I'm not saying you all made me self-conscious by saying I looked like I had a mullet when I don't, because my hair's really long. Hiya, Batovsky. How are you doing? I've been fine. I hope you've been fine. I'm just chilling. Almost ready for Betty Buys, but not quite. Actually, I'm just thinking of something. Yeah, that was very sort of Harry Potter-ish. I want to do a little one of these taste comparisons I was doing, because I just saw someone doing a very favourable review of a Starward whiskey I'm not that into. And I feel like I haven't even tasted it for quite a while. So now I want to do that. Starward Taste Off. Stuff here. Last little thing I'm going to do before bed. Starward Taste Off. Okay, so we are going to do Nova. Oh. Wait, no. Do this so I remember what I poured in them. It's just really got to be a sip of each. Nova. Solera, which is the one. Where is the Solera? I'm sure I have bottled Solera. There it is. Solera. Solera. Oh no, I'll leave that out so I don't forget. And then we'll do a couple of the special ones. Oh yeah, fuck it. Hungarian oak. Speaking of things I feel like I haven't tasted in a little while. Hungarian oak. And the recent one I got in the barrel. In the ballot musket barrel. All right. And now I'm going to do a taste comparison. Oh, Wizard with the cocktails. I do regularly very like drinks I make. Okay, so Nova. What I always say is my favorite. Ooh. That has an almost buttery caramel aroma. Oh. Man, that's good. Ooh. It's got an almost golden syrup flavor in it. A bit richer than honey. When's that palate off? Now, this is the Solera that I just saw a YouTube video with someone really talking this up. And this is more expensive than the Nova. Seems a bit more subtle on the nose. Man, that is actually that is really nice. Really sort of feel like I'm tasting the barrel on that. The charred barrel. Okay, I feel like I haven't tasted that whiskey in ages. And it's actually pretty good. Yum. Oh, yeah, no, that's good. Palate clearer. Dr. Abigail, you need to go. Your planet needs you. Well, I do hope we get to see you again soon. My bed is going to need me soon. Now, this is one of their really limited releases, Hungarian Oak. A bit darker than the other ones. A bit more subtle on the nose. Hello, welcome to the Whiskey Wanker channel. I'm going to do this thing. That's supposed to really release the aroma, warming it up essentially. Seeing if something more comes to me. No, it is actually way more subtle aroma-wise, taste-wise. Oh, wow. No, I was thinking, what's that coming? This is a really distinct sort of chocolate note on that. Bit sort of stone fruit, like apricot or something. But a really distinct chocolate note. Even bananas. That's really weird. There's definitely some fruity element to that. I'll try and cleanse la palate. And then the musket barrel. Aged in fortified wine. I mean, an ex-fortified wine barrel, not in fortified wine. That tastes like wine. Yep. Ooh, that's really bringing in those wine flavors and sort of sultanas as well. I'm super bad with having descriptive words for whiskey tasting, but this definitely has a much more pronounced sort of red wine flavor than the other ones. Yeah, so it's less sweet and more of those wine flavors in there. So I guess it depends. Safa, they literally had one, and I emptied the bottle because it was really nice. They literally had one that was aged or at least finished in tawny barrels, ex-tawny barrels. Muscat is not 100 miles removed from tawny. It's very much in the ballpark. So yeah, it is kind of in that zone. There are different fortified wines, the ports, muskets. They're not allowed to call it port in Australia. Sherry barrels, ex-sherry barrels are another common one that whiskey is aged or finished in. They've currently, Starwood are currently running another ballot, and I couldn't resist but throw my hat in the ring to see if I could get one. This one is finished in ex-Islay Scotch barrels. It's actually Lefroy, I think, from memory. Very famous, very, very smoky. Yes, we're not allowed to call it sherry. It's apara if it's made in Australia. That's EU bullshit. And hey, Big Pat, how are you doing? Just coming in at the last minute to establish an alibi, are we? Yes, officer. He was in the stream all night. But yeah, it's very interesting. The latest in the argument with the EU protected naming thing is they want to have, say, Prosecco can only come from a particular region of Italy, which is fucking horseshit because Prosecco is just a grape varietal. But because Prosecco got really popular, the EU's trying to control the market again. And it's just like, they go too fucking far. To me, the funniest sort of variation of that EU naming thing, there's a subset of gin called Plymouth gin. And it's a kind of meaningless classification of gin. But yeah, at one point, the EU said they were going to make a rule that you could only call a gin Plymouth gin if it was made in Plymouth, England. But Plymouth gin used to be made in Plymouth, England, but it was bought by one of the big international spirit companies. And when the EU said they were going to do the rule that you could only call it Plymouth gin if it was made in Plymouth, the company that had a trademark on the name Plymouth gin was saying, yeah, we're going to ignore what the EU is saying there. So what was obviously happening is this big booze company bought the company that was making Plymouth gin, trademarked the name Plymouth gin, but they're clearly using gins from all over and packaging it as Plymouth gin. So yeah, those EU rules are fucking ridiculous. They used to make sense. Okay, champagne can only come from the Champagne region of France. Cognac can only come from the Cognac region. Same as in the US, bourbon has to follow very specific rules. Scotch has to follow specific rules. Irish whiskey has to follow specific rules. There's actually rules for whiskey in Australia. But the EU has just got fucking stupid. And it's just pointless, out of control protectionism. So I don't know if Australia is going to go along with the EU's proposal for protected status of Prosecco, because there's winemakers in Australia who have been growing Prosecco grapes and bottling Prosecco for generations, and it's a fucking slap in the face. So I don't know, but anyway, it's like the EU is just abusing that idea of, yeah, you should protect certain names so people know what they're getting. And there's a very broad spectrum of things where I agree with it, but they're just doing overreach. Like they are actually pushing to, you're not allowed to call a cheese Parmesan unless it comes from Parma in Italy. And I think they're even trying to have some sort of controls on mozzarella. And it's just like, you know what? Get fucked. Anyway, it is what it is. But I think we've approached that time of the evening. And by that time, I mean eat the cherry time. And just because God willed it, I have 2 cherries tonight. Who am I to argue with God? I just stabbed in the jar. I was only looking for 1 cherry, but I got 2. So, that was the will of the Almighty. God wanted me to have 2 cherries. So I have 2 cherries. Oh. So I'll see you all another time. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. It depends on when I if I line up, takeaway with the offspring. So nothing's forever. Ooh, Strictly Sega. I need to know this before I go. You did a $400 gamble. Not a gambling guy. What do you, if you want to share, what's your $400 gamble? Because I don't know, that's a big one. Yeah. So if you're around later in the week, I'd like very much, if I see you later in the week, fair chance Tuesday, but something might come up, so it won't be Tuesday. I might post in the a high def laser disc player. Okay, plays high def discs, right? And so the gamble is if it's worth it. Is that the gamble? If it was worth doing that? Oof. So they sell for like $2,000, and you're getting one for $400. So is the gamble whether or not it will be legit? Yeah, so the gamble's if it works. Yep, that makes sense. Good luck with the gamble. I hope it pays off for you. I'm sending all the vibes for that to be a win, your gamble there. Might get an update from you down the line. But yes, I'm going to go sleepy bobos now. So you all take care, and I hope to see you another time. But I